majors. We are going to be doing construction today. I'm going to show you how to do construction on TestNav. So what are you expected to know for this unit, for this section? The student will construct and justify the construction of this 8 different objectives that we have to cover. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do line segment congruent to a given line, the perpendicular bisector of a line segment, and a couple of things I highlighted. I will go over it when we start digging into a little bit more. So what I want you guys to do, if you have the school laptop, you can just start typing TestNav. If you don't have the school laptop, you can still search for TestNav, and then this site will be opened up for you. When it is all open, make sure you guys have you don't need to sign in. So what I want you guys to do is just go to a SOA practice item. And starting this year, we're going to do 2016. So you see the decimal calculators here. So if you guys, not now, but you want to practice on the decimal calculators, it's right here too also. So 2016, and there is a geometry SOL down here, but we're not going to talk about that one. We're just going to use the tools right now. So then clicking on start, yes, I agree, and then move on. So there are 11 questions. So when they created this test nav, they created it for 3rd grade all the way to Algebra 2 math. So there would be some things that we are not gonna be able to use or shouldn't be using, right? We won't be able to use rulers in our or protractors here like you see it. We are not going to be able to do that for geometry. So that means in the geometry SOL, you will not be able to use it because it won't be there. You won't even see it. So the first construction we're going to do is a line segment congruent to a given line segment. So you can go to your I need to find where TestNav is. Here we go. So maybe I wanted to copy AB, okay? Or maybe I wanted to copy ED, whatever segment I wanted to copy. So I'm slide 2. So I skipped this one because this is just measuring tools. That's a 3rd grade math. So I'm in slide 2 and I wanted to measure or copy a segment that is going to be the same length as AE, right? So in order to do that, the first thing I need to do is where do I want this segment to start? So let's say I wanted to start this segment at point A, which is right here, and I wanted to measure A to E and then copy it over there. But the thing about it is I won't be able to use a ruler, so only option I have is to use the compass. So compass is you press it here, you'll get it. The one in the middle, if you put the cursor right there, you can move it up and down anywhere you want it. If you click the middle one, it allows you to extend it as big as you can get, and this is the biggest you can get it. And right here at the pointer, you can write. But if you wanted to rotate without writing, you can just come to right here, the arrow. See how it gets darker? You'll be able to move it without the shape changing. If I wanted to move it here, see, kind of change the dimension, so you don't want that to happen. So I wanted to recreate the length from E to A again, right? So I wanted to make it a little bit smaller because even if I don't put the pointer here, the dotted circle kind of helps me to see where that distances, right? So you can see the pointer is at E, the circle dotted line is going to be here. So if I kind of create an arc, this compass is now the measure of EA. Then I'll just bring it where my pointer is, and you guys see where I'm getting closer to the edge. My compass shrink, but the distance doesn't shrink. So it doesn't shrink. That's the good thing about it. So all I have to do is rotate it around. I see now I moved it. No, I did not move it. So I rotate it. So that's the distance. So once I get this shape, so I come to the straight edge. So the distance from this point to this point would be the same length as the point from A to E. Okay, so what I want you guys to do now, since we just practiced, I want you guys to copy DC. So copy DC and then raise your hand and show me that you guys got it. And then I'll come around and then give you credit. Okay, or just move on to the next one if I'm busy with other students. Okay. All right. The next one we're going to do is the says here perpendicular bisector of a line segment. So we just wanted to create perpendicular bisector of a line segment. So I'll go to slide number, I believe is 7. I opened too many things. So I'll go to 7, and then you can go to 7 by sliding it up and down like this. And or you can just go to your reviews and then pick the numbers you wanted to go. So I wanted to do 7, that's where we are. So now I wanted to bisect this, okay, perpendicular bisector of AB. So I wanted to cut it in half and create a perpendicular line that goes through it. Again, I'm going to use my compass, bring it to A, and I'm going to open my compass as wide as I can open it. So technically, it should be wider than halfway between, like a little bit need to pass halfway. So once you open it, then you just leave it there. So it's a little bit, I wish they let us more, but it's halfway. So, but you can create an arc all the way up and down if you want to, or just the top piece will look like this, and then the bottom piece will be look like. The main thing is we want the two arcs to intersect. So I just created this arc on from A, then I'm going to do the same thing with from B side. So I'm going to use this to rotate it. So make sure B is in the right dot right here. So then we'll do this, and then we'll come back to here and create another arc. So see where the two intersect? That is what is going to be my perpendicular bisector. So I'm going to use my straight edge from here, the one in the middle, and I start from this intersection to the next intersection. And you can kind of move it around, but make sure it goes through it. When that happened, now your segment is going to be a perpendicular bisector. That means it's going to be 90-degree angle here, and the distance from this point to B is the same as the distance from A to this point. Okay, so this is a perpendicular bisector. Make sure you practice, you do this first, and then go back to your slide 2 and bisect EF. Okay, bisect FG. I'm sorry, bisect FG into two equal parts. So you're going to get your compass, you bring it over here and make it a little bit bigger than, you see this one is because I won't push it all the way here, but a little bit bigger than halfway. Do your arc on the top and the bottom, and then bring it to G, do the same thing. Okay, so that's something that we can do to show that you know now without looking at the example how to bisect. So the third one we're going to be doing is the third and the fourth is going to be a perpendicular to a given line from a point not on the line and a point on the line. So they kind of, we're going to do it on the same page in the same construction, but one is on the point on the line, the other one is not on the line. Okay, so we're going to go to page, I believe is 8, no, 9. 9. Good job. So now we're going to do it to the one that is not on the line, which is from A. Okay, and then we wanted to create, because what we're trying to do is I wanted to draw a line starting from A that goes to line M, but I need it to be perpendicular. So is it this way, this way? It's kind of tricky, right? And the next one is I'm going to do it from B and up. I want it to be in that 90 degrees. So we wanted to make sure it is perfectly done. So we use the right tools. So the first thing we do, we use our compass, bring it to A, because I wanted to do it when point is not on the line. And I'm going to open my arc as big as I can, and then make a marking here, and then on the other side. And if you make a marking all the way around, that's fine, right? So now this is what I did. Then I come back to where the two intersects right here. And then I will do another marking here, up and down, and then another marking here. Okay, up and down. Okay, so now once I got this, I already know A starts from here, from A all the way to this line. So this is the line I just created. That's going to be perpendicular to line M starting from point A. Okay, that's the first one. And next one they want you to do is from B. So make sure you guys know how to do it, practice it. So from B, I'm going to erase this one because I don't want the other points to be a distractor. Uh, so to delete, you just click this, it will delete it for you. So again, I'm going to come to my compass, but now, remember I was at A doing my arc, now I'm going to put it at B and put it in my arc. So I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. Don't want it to be too huge. And then now I'm trying to put the arc from here to here, and then rotate it around and put an arc here. Okay, and then I'm going to take it to the arc I just created. And if I just left it there, the arc will be so overlapping, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, not passing the arc I just created, but a little bit bigger. Okay, and then you can either do down and up, or you can even do the whole arc if you want to, doesn't matter. Just come up here again, do the same thing. A lot of times in the test, you only see an arc on the top and the bottom. You don't usually see the one in between. But whichever way you do it, as long as you know that you are able to draw the line that bisects it. So this is how you do it. So, but in the SOL, so it's a little bit off. So on SOL, the type of question they're going to ask you is, they would have a bunch of points, like they would have dots here, 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 and then they will say which dot goes through it. Okay, and then they labeled this dot to be A, B, and C, so that when the more you extended it out, you'll be able to see. Sorry about that. You can see that I'm doing this after school, right? So now we just did number 3 and number 4. All right, guys, I'm gonna do number 5, which is bisecting an angle. So I'm gonna show you how to do, and if it's the second time you're hearing this, I apologize because I don't remember if I pressed record when I did this, so I have to do it again. So you create an arc, and then the same arc, you're gonna come here and then try to do another arc. And the arc you just created, do another one here on the other side. Whatever you did on one side, you have to do it on the other side. Then use your straight edge, start from A, and try to make it go through this. I just created an arc and an angle bisector. That means these two are going to be equal to each other. So what I want you guys to do is to go back to slide 4, and you are going to do number 1 and number 2. You're going to bisect these two angles, and then you're going to show me. Okay, so number 6 that on our list is going to be to do copy an angle. So I wanted to copy this angle. So I'm going to delete this and create a new line. So since I wanted to copy the original line, I have to draw it. It doesn't matter how big you want to draw it. Just draw it looking like one of the lines. And then we're going to do rotate this to create an arc. Okay. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, so I just created this arc, I'm going to come here and try to create the same arc. Okay. Just created the same arc. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I wanted to measure the arc with my compass. So okay, so make it as small as possible. So you see how, make sure this is on this arc and this is, so I think, yep, it goes that intersection, right? So what I just did is I just measure the distance between the two lines. So I'm going to come here and do the same thing. I wanted to mark it. So once I mark this, I just need to create a straight line from the line from here all the way. So I use a green color so that you guys can see it. So I just copy angle A. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is go to slide 4 and do copy the third one. Copy this one. Okay, So what you can do is just draw the line somewhere here. I know you don't have space. I wish they didn't have this. Just maybe draw the line here and then copy this line for uh, so slide 4. You're going to copy. Okay, because the more you practice, the more you would remember. All right, so the next time we're going to do is number 7, which is a line parallel to a given line through a point not on the line. So this is a little bit tricky. So I wanted to create 2 parallel lines, but the point is not on the line. Okay, so our probably have to go back to 7 again. Not 7, this one. Okay, and then I'll just delete this. So what I want to do is I wanted to draw a line that is going to go to point A, but I want it to be parallel to line M. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my transversal, but the transversal need to go through A. So just make sure your transversal need to go through A. It doesn't have to go through B, it just needs to go through A. So I just created a transversal, right? And then I'm going to create a compass, bring my compass here, and then create an arc. Basically, this is very similar to copying an angle, but just create an arc. Okay, so whatever arc I just created, I'm going to go to B to A and then try to create it. So make sure it kind of overlap. So just create this arc. Okay, so now I'm going to come to here. So from here, from the point of this intersection to, I'm going to try to, no, not measure it. So I wanted to measure it. So just like the way we copied an angle, I wanted to measure this. So measure it so that it's a little bit off. So I'll just put it here. See how we have it here? So the same way, I'm going to come here. So I just wanted to extend this line a little bit though. Just that might not be a good idea, but let's start from A, extended it out so that is, so I just measured this, right? This is the same. So now I'm going to come here, measure the same thing here. So from here, from the point of this intersection to this line, I just create an intersection. So now I'm going to use my line, start from A, trying to get it to go through here. So this line, so that what I just did is I just made the corresponding angles equal to each other. Okay, so line A, let's say C, if this is C, let me use, so line C is parallel to line M. So that's what we just did because we just proved that the transversals are congruent. Okay. So the last one we have to do is an equilateral triangle, a square, and a regular hexagon inscribed in a circle. So I'm going to pull it to slide number 11, and I'll try to do all 3 in this circle. So the first thing I will do is I'll just draw a straight edge, okay? Straight line that goes through B. So just be careful when you do that because you really want it to go through B. So like when I see this is not, I'll just retrieve it back and just try to make sure it goes through B. No, this one is not also right. So let's delete this and then try again. So I want it to go through this point. So you can kind of do it from here if you want to. And then have another one, but it just does not. Yeah, this looks like it, right? This, yeah. And then I want to do the same thing from the top. So I'm kind of creating a cross that cuts the circle into 4 equal pieces. So once I get that, if I connected all those points, so the vertex from here to here, the vertex from here to here, the vertex from here to here, and then the vertex from here to here, I would have all equal side, right? 90-degree, a square. Okay, so now I got my square. And then the next one I wanted to do is, can I create my hexagon or my um, equilateral triangle? So I'll just come to my compass again. So now I wanted to make the radius, not like this, no. So I'll just do one. So I just needed to come here and measure the radius with this, with my compass. Okay, so what I will do, I'll have an arc on this side of the compass, right? Like maybe use a black color because I want it. So this is my arc. Do the same thing on this side because I'm cutting that circle 6 piece. And then I'm gonna come to this one and do the same thing. Okay, so I'm kind of rotating it around, and let's rotate it a little bit because I need it. So now just created one, rotate it around, and created one, and so what I just did is I just I got interrupted, so I kind of, you see how I created this arcs, so make sure you make them pass through the on the circle. Okay, so once I created this, all I did was, I know you can see I'd already created the hexagon, so connect the vertex. So these are your dots, so you have a dot here, right, at the center, and then you have now where it intersect, connect them with your lines. So connect them wherever the dot is. So when you connect, it gives you a hexagon. Okay, now I just have a hexagon. So the last thing I have to do is your triangle, equilateral triangle. So if I connected every other ones, then I would do. So I'll pass, looking at the hexagon, the black one, I'm connecting not this one, but past that, which is this one. Then I'm going to pass this one, connect it to this one, and I'm going to pass that one here now. I just created an equilateral triangle. Okay, so this is what you guys have to do, and this is what you can do and show it to us. Do the square, do the hexagon, and do the triangle, and raise your hand and show it to us, because there is no other circle that you can use, okay, to find that. All right, guys, if you have any questions, let us know. Your teachers will be walking you around trying to help you, but you got to get this thing done in order for you to be able to remember to do it at the test. Okay, have a good afternoon.